What's up, guys? Max here, back with another episode of the ScuttleButt Show. Are you guys hearing, how is the sound right now? I'm hearing like I'm hearing a weird echo type thing in my room right now. I don't know what the deal is with that. Am I looping audio? What is going on? Do you guys see me okay? Can you guys see me okay? Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like there's some weird stuff going on with my setup right now, so give me a heads up if everything is seeming okay or not. I should be live right now. You guys should be seeing me. I hope everyone had a great weekend. What's up, Justin? What's up, Game Hopes? What's up, Eric? Nuggets, Mud Rock. We got Chris in the chat. We got everybody in the chat. So welcome, everybody. I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, my audio sounding really weird to me right now. I don't know what it is. It's on my end. Something just sounds bad. Let me turn down my headphones. Oh, God. Everything's okay. I just turned down my headphones. Everything sounds way better. All right, I think we're okay. Just troubleshooting the 5x5, Larry. Thank you very much. Got it. Cool. All right. Everything looks good. What's up, guys? Max here, back with another brand new episode of the ScuttleButt Show. And I hope you all had a great weekend. I had a pretty cool weekend. Mud Rock was asking me if it ever stopped raining out here in Okinawa. And funny story about that, my wife and I were trying to go on a glamping trip this weekend, which is camping, but like it's a nice spot. And what they had was these wood platforms with tents on them. Stop by my Instagram. I'm going to be posting some pictures of it. And it was, they're supposed to cancel if it rains. And they were like, it's perfectly good weather up here, and it was pouring rain where we live now. And so we went up there and it was kind of rainy. So I feel like he kind of scammed us a little bit, but we were the only ones up there. We had a nice little camping trip this weekend. We stayed relatively dry. Our dog had a great time. Jeffrey, what's up? Welcome to the chat. And Boomer, what's up? Boomer in the house. It's been a while. Snowed here in the U.S. earlier this week. Cool, man. I hope you're handling the snow well. I can't believe it's still snowing out there. It's about to be May. I remember one of the worst snowstorms we ever had in New York was in April. It was in April. I was like 12 years old, and it was just a horrible, terrible, no good snowstorm that was absolutely brutal. So we have tons of cool stories to cover today. You guys might have seen in the headline there, it was, we have a racist Army sergeant, and we're not talking about Jonathan Pentland. We're talking about something that might, what you will definitely see is actual racism and what that looks like compared to the Jonathan Pentland story, where I think that was pretty twisted in the news. And I'm still saying that was not racist. Scad, Max, do you ever plan to move back to the United States? I sure do. As soon as our tour here in Okinawa is over, we probably will be coming back to the States. Raj says, been watching Battleship New Jersey and found out scuttlebutt is Navy slang for a water fountain, I'm guessing. Scuttlebutt is slang for a water fountain or for a rumor or gossip, which is why this is the Scuttlebutt Show, because we're always gossiping on this show. I swear it was like 80 the other day. I don't know what's going on. Illinois. Hey, hang in there, Boomer. Oh, God, remember the Penalties scenario? That went well. Yeah. So, we're going to talk all about that, but we're going to get to that at the end. So we got to get through everything else first. So bear with me. I mean, don't bear with me. It's going to be a great show, but hang on till the end to see that the new racist sergeant story. Now, let me hit you with a little, by the way, update on the show. I've switched all of my graphics and everything like that to hotkeys. So anything could happen. Anything could happen with these hotkeys. So I'm going to try to activate the About Yesterday and see if I remember what hotkey this was. Boom, let's go. About yesterday. So about yesterday, we had, over the weekend, I told you guys I was going to be trying to buy back my website, the ScuttleButtShow.com, from those damn scammers up there in Canada who automatically bought the ScuttleButtShow.com as soon as I created my podcast. And I did. I bought it back. I now am the owner of the ScuttleButtShow.com, and that website's not active yet because I guess there's some processing that has to happen until I can actually make it. The official URL of the store. But you guys can still go to ScuttleButtShow.com for your merch, or Patreon in the links in the description down below, and get yourself set up with a nice patron tier, including Elite Patron, where you get a free t-shirt on your second month. So to address that, Mudrock, let's see, he says, I guess I'm going to have to buy that awesome The Warrior Tri-Blend shirt. Yes, get it. And you can, if you want the free shirt to be any of the shirts off the website, or socks, or a coffee cup, whatever you want, I'll send you whatever you want. But there is a special Elite Patron t-shirt that is not available in the store. It's not on the store. It's only for Elite patrons, and I should probably publish a picture of it, honestly. But that's the shirt that you'll get if you are an Elite patron. It is not available anywhere else to anyone else or anything like that. So you have to get it from being an Elite patron. But if you want, I will send you another shirt of your choice. But also, don't forget, you do get a discount for being a patron. You do get a discount for being a patron, so make sure you hit me up for the discount code if you don't have it, and you can get a discount on the entire store. So if you guys have been thinking about joining my Patreon, there's a lot of great reasons to do so. Boomer says, I'm going to wear my ScuttleButt shirt as an undershirt during my track meet tomorrow. Dude, that's awesome. Let's go, Boomer. Get some. That's awesome, dude. I can model the shirt if you need. Yeah, Justin, send me another pic. A full shirt pic with the beard and everything would be awesome. Yeah, and then hit me up if you're on the Patreon. If you're a patron and you have any questions or anything like that about any of the benefits, hit me up so I can make sure you're getting the most out of that you possibly can. Now, we're 5 minutes into the show. We got to get to some stories because we've got a ton of stories. I don't require payment, but my beard does. Justin, your beard needs an agent. Let's see. Shout out gang. What does that say? Shot put gang. Oh, you're doing shot put? That's awesome, dude. Shot put's a pretty hard sport. I don't think I could probably throw a shot put 2 feet if I tried right now. I just don't even know how to do it. All right, guys. So we have a ton of stories. Like I said, we have a ton of stories to get to. So let's not waste another second of time before we get to the stories. And I believe I can switch over to the stories with my hotkey here. Boom. Let's go. Hotkey master in the house. Now, I said in the headline there, Earl, what's up? Welcome to the chat. In the headline there, I said death penalty. Okay. Death penalties. What did I mean? How about penalizing people for dying? And who are we penalizing here? The spouses. So military spouses for a long time have been in difficult scenarios if their spouse gets killed or if they get divorced or if something happens. Basically, there is what they're calling the marriage penalty. So advocates renew push to end the military's remarriage penalty for spouses of fallen troops. So if you have and I think that there's a caveat here too, where if you've been married for a certain amount of time to somebody in the military, you're entitled benefits until you get remarried, like 7 years or something like that. If you're married for 7 years and then you get separated or divorced or whatever, I think you stay under the TRICARE umbrella for all intents and purposes there. Now, we've got the story here from militarytimes.com. When Captain, and if you guys watch this, you'll probably agree that this is kind of bogus right here. This is super bogus stuff. So when Captain Philip Minogue was killed in a training exercise in 1984, his death left his wife and 5 young children with an unfillable emotional loss, but also with military death benefits to ensure they could live comfortably in his absence. So as a spouse and, having kids, when he was killed, the family is able to continue using TRICARE, continue going on base. They can use, so basically medical and save some money at the exchanges and stuff like that, the commissary. But if Nancy remarried, those benefits would disappear. So this puts spouses in a very difficult situation where if they remarry, if they find another spouse, they lose the benefits. And so it's been putting people in this tough situation of it being difficult to move on and enjoy a new life without, having to face the fact of losing these benefits that you rely on. So it was a constant question in my mind, Nancy says, whether I would remain single my whole life or I would be able to make it financially if I got remarried and lost my benefits, said Minogue, now president of Gold Star Wives of America. It was already a difficult and emotional decision, and the financial part just made things harder. Minogue never remarried and is now one of the primary advocates for amending military death benefits rules to allow surviving spouses to marry again without losing thousands in payouts each year, which is horrible, I think. Don't you guys think that that's horrible? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments, but it sounds like I've known about this to be true, and it's always bothered me that if you are a military spouse and you're something happens to your husband, and you're still getting benefits, those benefits disappear if you get remarried, which I think is kind of sucks because now that I've lived, I've always been pretty understanding of the spouse situation. Military spouses get a bad rap. You've got the dependopotamuses, the triceratopses, the do you know who my husband is person. But I've always kind of been realistic about the fact that if you marry somebody in the military, you are going to be forced to PCS, permanent change of station, give up your job, give up potentially pursuing your education. Then if you're just a regular spouse, okay, a regular spouse, male or female, and you take the role of homemaker and you leave your job to be a parent, and that's a decision that you and your spouse make together, and then something happens, you get divorced, you become a widower, something like that, a widow, whatever it is, widow, you have given all this time where you could have been working, you could have been getting educated and moving forward and earning money, and instead you mutually decided that you would stay home and not do that. So when you get divorced, I think alimony actually makes sense for a lot of people, even though it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of divorced people. It actually makes sense if you make these decisions that your spouse will stay home, not earn money, not pursue an education, not pursue promotions at work and all that stuff, and then you got to pay out. But here, even worse, If a military member is killed and their spouse chose to marry a military member and you get that healthcare, you get all that, and then your spouse is killed, if you ever find love again and remarry, you have to choose between pursuing that next, romantic venture and losing TRICARE for your kids. That's a tough decision. So on Friday, a pair of lawmakers reintroduced legislation to address that, eliminating the rules call for the surviving spouses to lose access to dependency and indemnity compensation checks, home loans, education benefits, and more if they remarry before age 55. Under current law, spouses who get married again after that age can retain their benefits eligibility. It's unfair and unreasonable, said Rep. Mike Waltz, a former Green Beret who said he knows several military widows struggling with the benefits question. These rules were put in place at a different time and now are just arbitrary and don't make any sense. Like so many other things that we do in the military, they're just old. They're just outdated, old, and we just keep doing them because we've been doing them for a while. That seems like a very, 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 very ridiculous reason to do anything. But hey, that's how we do it in the military. So I guess that's that, and we'll just never change it. For spouses from the recent wars, the rules can influence whether they want to consider dating again. For older spouses in long-term relationships, the decision whether to remarry has to factor the finances as much as companionship. But the issue hasn't gotten much traction in recent years because of the potential cost of the fix. Congressional staff estimates the new bill will cost about $180 million over the next decade. A drop in the bucket. A drop in the bucket. That's not a lot of money. That's a nothing. That's a negligible nothing amount of money in the military. We spend that much on fuel every month. Last year, as part of the annual defense authorization bill, lawmakers dropped the age that individuals can remarry without incurring penalties from 57 to 55. Wow, that's phenomenal. Just in time. Now you can finally get your life started again. With co-sponsor Representative Seth Moulton, a Democrat of Massachusetts and a Marine Corps veteran, are hoping to include the new legislation in the upcoming defense policy bill for fiscal year 2022. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. If you're a spouse in the military and you remarry, should you lose your benefits, like including your TRICARE and for your kids? What's up, Lucas in the chat from South Dakota? Justin says, I think it's federal law that if you're married for 10 years during active duty and you get divorced, the spouse has claimed to have your pension for life. Not sure how the new retirement happens. Is that 10 years or 7 years? I thought it was 7 years, but I very much could be wrong about that. Boomer says, my girlfriend and I have agreed that if I end up joining the Army, which is very likely, that she won't have to move wherever I get stationed if she doesn't want to, so she can go to school and stuff. I think that's a good responsible choice, Boomer. I don't think you should rush it at all. I know the military incentivizes marriage in many different ways, but hey, a lot of young people get married and it works, and a lot of young people get married and it doesn't work. I will say, just wait until you at least get to your first permanent duty station before you do anything. Don't do it right out of boot camp. Don't do it right out of school. Get to a permanent duty station. Justin says, widows' kids should always keep benefits. I 100% agree. Should be 5 years max after spouse's death to remarry without penalty, in my opinion. 5 years max to remarry without penalty. 5 years max, spouse's death to So are you saying after 5 years, there's no penalty? Like if after 5 years they remarry? I think there should be no time limit. If a widow wants to remarry after 3 months of their spouse's death, I don't think we should penalize them. You don't know what that person's going through, what kind of trauma they're trying to fill, what they're trying to recover from, what their relationship was like when the husband or wife was killed. I mean, it's tough, but I don't think there should be any time limit. Dependents is going to get you. Yep, dependents are going to get you. Remarry after 5 years to clarify. Yeah. I don't think there should be a time limit at all. I'll just add that. I think any amount of time is okay. I don't think we can put a time limit on how things should work out like that, especially when we're talking about families and kids and stuff. If you're a military family, you should be taken care of. That's it, period. It's that simple to me. Because military families serve too. I think about when I go out to when I go visit, I'm working on this project right now. We've been filming at the high school out here. There's a couple of high schools, and I see these kids out here, and they've been to 8 different high schools. They move around every couple of years, leave their friends. Their education is affected. The spouses have to move around and make new friends. And oh my God, OMG, you guys, I just remembered something. This is not military related, but just to tell you, my wife is a physician. If you guys watch the show, you probably know that. I just discovered a show on Netflix called Married to Medicine. And it's like the Real Housewives of Orange County or whatever, but doctors' wives. And I am now obsessed with that show. As a doctor's spouse, I can find that show to be incredibly hilarious because it's completely unrealistic in every way. And I was watching it last night with my wife, and it was cringe, like level 1000 cringe for sure. Okay. So if you get a chance to check out Married to Medicine, hey, you'll know how it is out here for me. I'm just kidding. It's nothing like that. It's great. It's absolutely awesome. So Okay, cool. So that's that story, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. If you have any questions for me, drop that in the chat. Wasn't there something I was supposed to tell you guys this week if somebody remembered to remind me? And I am drawing a blank right now, but if you guys remember what it is, let me know. We've got something over here that at first glance, you guys might have heard of this story. I don't know. You guys might have heard of this. At first glance, you already know everything I'm going to tell you. Like, I can stop after just showing you the very first thing on here. Having your wife on the show for an interview on Navy medicine. Hey, Scad, go check out the interview I did with Navy nurse. Navy nurse, my friend Cassie, came on the show. She's a nurse, and she joined me in studio, and we had fun. We did Navy trivia with her, and I don't remember what episode that was, something like 110 or something like that, around that time. So go check that out. It was a great episode all about Navy medicine and the path to becoming a Navy nurse. So... But yes, I do want to have my wife on the show. She's been on before. She's been on a couple episodes, a couple videos, but yeah, it'd be really cool. You look like you can shot put pretty far because you were looking thick. Thanks, Boomer. I'm looking thick. I hope in a good way. Lucas says, did you see Vladimir Putin's stark warning to the U.S. and NATO? I only saw a headline about it. I haven't really seen it. But it's something about the, was it Crimea? The forces going along the border and, you know, the rest of the world's got to stay out of it or something like that. Justin says, what's her specialty? She's orthopedics. She is orthopedics, orthopedic surgeon. Ayo, Nixa, I want to be on the show. I texted you this morning, brother. So I texted you this morning. I would love to get you back on the show. We got to go do street interviews. We got to go do all kinds of stuff, dude. I'm ready. I'm free Wednesday evening. I have time. If you want to come do something, I got time on Wednesday. So, okay. We've got, okay, this next story is just silly. I'm going to try to hit my hotkey again and see if I can make this app. Boom, let's go. Let's get it. Hotkeys are working right now. Man who fatally stabbed Army vet on Appalachian Trail found not guilty by reason of insanity. And you see him on the right side of your screen here. Shocker. Am I right? Is this guy insane or what? Just take, if you're listening on the podcast, let me try to describe this to you. On the left, we've got Army veteran Ronald Sanchez Jr., who was killed while trying to hike the Appalachian Trail by this guy on the right, James Jordan. And James Jordan has some kind of mullet type situation. He's got a scrappy looking beard. He's got a white puffy collar shirt or something that he's wearing on. And he's just got this weird, crazy psycho look in his eyes that, you know, just taking one look at him. Take one look at him, and he is a complete psychopath. So the story goes on to say, a man who terrorized a group of hikers on the Appalachian Trail in Southwest Virginia in 2019. This is just like something out of The Hills Have Eyes or some kind of horror movie or something. Stabbing two people, one of them fatally, has been found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to a psychiatric hospital until he is no longer a danger to society. You know, I get people are crazy, but how could you ever release this person back into society? Like, this guy terrorized and murdered a person, a veteran, and they're crazy. Okay, they're downright crazy, and they're going to get to go into a sanitarium or whatever they call it nowadays and get treatment. And if they get better, potentially they can get released. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. James Jordan, 32, admitted that he fatally stabbed Ronald Sanchez, 43, a 16-year Army veteran who spent 3 tours in Iraq as a combat engineer. Sanchez was attempting to hike the entire 2,192-mile length of the Appalachian Trail and had set up camp in George Washington and Jefferson National Forest with 3 other people he met on the trail in early May 11th, 2019. Jordan, known to trail hikers because of his erratic behavior, set up a campsite nearby, but acted increasingly disturbed and unstable, court record state. So Sanchez and the other 3 decided to pack up and leave. As 2 of the campers tried to leave, Jordan confronted them with a machete and they ran away, calling police in Wythe County. Now, he stabbed Sanchez, and his friend, a woman from Canada, ran away, but Jordan caught her, stabbed her in the arms, face, legs, and torso, but she survived. After getting stabbed, hiked 6 miles into Smith County and called 911. So that's pretty incredible. Sheriff's deputies reached the campsite 3 hours later and found Jordan in bloody clothes and Sanchez lying on the ground nearby, and he was arrested and charged with murder, but he was found incompetent to stand trial. I wonder exactly how they do that, because they said he suffered from schizoaffective disorder and psychotic symptoms, but they don't exactly say how they diagnosed that, like what the actions and beliefs that this person had, what the test they did, were to make them determine that. So probably just him being completely out of touch with reality. And they said he doesn't understand the wrongfulness of his actions. Does not understand the wrongfulness of his actions, but I think the rest of the world understands it enough. Don't you guys think? Like, that's pretty bad. That's a bad dude. That's a bad dude right there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that he just needs to be, you know, prevented from hurting anybody else. That's not crazy to say, is it? Let's see. He'll get a sentence worse than jail, though. Looks like the knockoff Freddie Mercury, mulleted and rough-looking Dax Shepard. Yeah, totally, Justin. Didn't we watch The Hills Have Eyes in Dubai? Very possible, Justin. I don't remember. I know the only movie I remember watching in Dubai was 300, the original 300. Going through war and living your life after what you've seen been through to die in a situation like that is too sad to hear. Nuggets, I know what you're saying very well. I've had friends who've died after the military, and it's just horrible to think that after surviving everything you do in the military, you go out in town and, you know, or on a hike and you get murdered. Horrible. Look at Chris Kyle. Look at what happened to Chris Kyle, for example. The place that he will end up will never leave the insane place, probably. I hope that that's true. 6 miles with stab wounds is unbelievably, unimaginably hard to go through. It is difficult, you know, because adrenaline will wear off by then. And all you have left is just your human will to survive and keep on going. You should try playing Vigor. Okay, I'll check that out. Vigor. Is that a PC? PC game? Did you tell me that before, too? You've told me that before, I think. Let me check that out. Let's see. Okay, we got a couple stories to get through. Okay, we got a couple stories here. Just as a reminder, guys, link in the description down below, ScuttleButtShow.com for all the merch, and Patreon.com is a great way to support the channel, as well as links down below to donate or whatever you want to do. Now, one of the best ways to support the channel right now is just sharing the videos and inviting people to the chat. So if you guys can do that too, that would be awesome. And drop a like. Drop a like while you're here. Just hit that like button, that little thumbs up. It does great work for the channel. What did you think of Enlisted? Oh, Techno. Enlisted's so fun. We could play it again today if you want. Hearing my comment read out loud, I want to apologize for that horrible grammar. Oh, I don't know. I read them so fast. Yeah, it's all good, Boomer. It's all good. It's YouTube, YouTube links. Ebo, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Let's get to this next story here, which is the VA is testing an implant that could allow paralyzed veterans to walk again. So what is this? 5 years ago, Marine Lance Corporal Joshua Birch became the first paralyzed service member to walk on his own, to walk to his own promotion ceremony wearing an exoskeleton that helped him walk and stand to receive his corporal chevrons. Now he's medically retired. Birch, who's 26, hopes again to be a trailblazer, the first Department of Veterans Affairs patient to regain function in his lower body. Wow. To include taking steps, courtesy of an electrical implant in his spine that is designed to stimulate the body's sensory motor network. Sensory motor? Even thinking about walking is crazy. I look at this as a stepping stone to the future where others like me can walk. I look at participation in this research as a way of helping people out, Birch said during an interview in March with military.com. This reminds me of the Neuralink that Elon Musk is working on with his Neuralink company. The idea that they can put in sensors in our brain now because they've been able to map enough neurons and synapses responses that when you think about doing something, you can control a robot with it. So you can put in a bionic arm and control your arm just by thinking about it. You can put a sensor on your brain and one in your spine and activate the muscles in your legs. You can put in a sensor in the eye and convert that to signals going into the brain to replace your eye. One of the Neuralink things, replacing the eye with a digital sensor. Think about that. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Are we going to get to a point where people who don't even have injuries are going to start getting this stuff? Like enhancements? So like, yeah, I'm not blind, but I do want the bionic eye. Like that's better than the eye. So I'll take the bionic eye. And it's replaceable and it's customizable and I can have GIFs play. So when you look in my eye, there's just GIFs playing and I can see great. I can zoom in. I can take a screenshot with my eye. I feel like we're right around the corner from that stuff. Would you do it? Would you, if it was available, take a bionic superior body part that can be completely simulate your regular function except enhance it? Answer in the chat. I'd like to know. So researchers at Hunter Holmes McGuire VA Medical Center in Richmond, Virginia have launched a study to determine whether epidural stimulators can help paralyzed veterans recover motor activity and or control over their inner systems, their cardiovascular and bladder functions, for example. That would be great. How about just being able to go to the bathroom? I think one of the most difficult parts of having one of these spine injuries is your dependency on other people to do simple tasks, right? So let's say you're an alpha male or female. You join the military. You go to war. You become handicapped from the waist down. You need help getting diaper changes. You need help going to the bathroom. You fall out of your chair. You need to be picked up. That's got to be the toughest part to live with. If I'm thinking about it, the toughest thing is the dependency part. For a person who is an active, athletic, take care of themselves, independent person, to now become dependent on others has got to be the most difficult part of sustaining an injury like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? While epidural stimulators have shown some degree of success with limb paralysis in research elsewhere, this is the first such study at the VA, explained Dr. Ashraf Gorjari, the chief of spinal cord injury research in the Richmond Hospital. Gorjari said the study has several goals to see how well an epidural stimulator made by Medtronic for pain management can work on spinal cord injuries, to demonstrate the promise of this technology, which can be implanted with minimum surgery. So there's so much. There's so much that they can do with these. So Joshua Birch in this picture here on your screen, if you're listening to the podcast, he's standing in a walker, support system here, participating in research conducted by Ashraf Gorjari, the chief of spinal cord surgery at Hunter Holmes McGuire VA Medical Center. So he's up, he's standing, and he's got his hands on they look like canes. They're probably assisting him, because it says Birch lost much of the use of his hands and all of the use of his legs in a September 2015 accident in Guam. He actually doesn't know what happened. He remembers being in a hotel room talking to his sergeant in the afternoon and waking up the next day on the ground outside the hotel, unable to move. So this is not a combat injury. He fell out of a building. He had fractured his 7th cervical vertebrae, the lowest bone in his neck. Birch underwent several surgeries in Hawaii before he was transferred to McGuire's Polytrauma Rehab Center, where he met Gorjari and first learned about exoskeletons. And he's getting it out there, putting into work. He's pictured here working on what might be a fuel truck or a fire truck. It looks like it might be a fire truck, actually. Maybe he was an Air Force firefighter. He wouldn't have been Air Force because he's a corporal. Soldier? Marine. So he was a Marine, he was a firefighter, and he's working on learning how to walk again, and I think that's really cool. So this is elite. I got to say, bravo Zulu to the people who are the first to try, the first to take these experimental medical devices, because they are kind of not, it's like when you buy new tech off Kickstarter or something like that, you're not getting the best final product, but your feedback of dealing with this inferior, version 0.5 or version 1.0 or whatever is going to make it better for people in the future. So bravo Zulu to Corporal Birch for taking on the task of being one of the first people to have this device that's going to help him walk again, hopefully. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. We got, I don't understand how that gets any better. How is this guy able to kill someone, get classified as insane, and then possibly get back into society and just become better? Not possible, in my opinion. Eric, I agree. Mudrock saying, what's up to Ebo? Let's see. Oh, my God, this is a game changer in science. This brings hope to vets and civilians alike to enjoy life more. Nugget says in all caps. That's outstanding. Semper Fi, Corporal Birch. Cyberpunk 2022 in real life. Enhanced, Justin says, yep. Our society is going to turn into the Disney show Lab Rats, LOL. ScuttleButt 2022. Yeah, there you go. That's the version of Cyberpunk. Better question from Techno. Would the military make the enhancements mandatory? That's a good question. Just like, what was it? The Chinese military making people take steroids last year was the story. I'd take a new back if I could move like normal again. Yeah, I would take some new stuff too. Neuralink will improve your performance. It will get to the point when you can compete for jobs without it, so you'll have to get one to be employed. That's a good point, Tom. That's the reason why I've always been anti-performance enhancing drugs as legal is because if you choose not to take them, how would you compete with someone who does? So it's going to put people in a difficult spot of having to take PEDs when they don't want to, if they want to have a shot at all. And it would kind of force people to start getting these drugs. Would it be legal? Techno says. Good question. I say make it legal. Make cyber enhancements legal. I'm for it. I'm so happy that he can walk again. I ain't having someone put wiring in my head, though. F that. He can use his limbs from the neck down. Holy crap, this man is Too happy for him, just for those, but those who have hope now, I can see the future. Yeah, totally. Maltese Cross equals fire department. Yep. Thank you, Larry. I guess that was Marine Corps firefighting. Do you think the U.S. and Russia will be in war soon based on the threats and Russian help build up on the Ukrainian border? I don't think so. Wasn't there a Green Beret that was allowed back into combat after losing his leg? Yes, Raju, that's true. Max, are you thinking kind of like Gattaca? I am kind of thinking like Gattaca. Kind of like Gattaca. I doubt war is just going to break out just saber rattling, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be a war anytime soon, honestly. And if you guys haven't already checked out, the book 2034 is an awesome imagination of what a world war might look like. So if you guys want to go check out a cool book, 2034 that we talked about on the show a few times is super good. And I'm going to be probably doing a video, full review on that in the next month or two. Let's see. My final thesis was about how cyber enhancements should be legal, Boomer says. That's cool, man. That's really cool that you were in on that. More likely to get involved in more proxy wars. Yeah, maybe. Hey, we're still trying to figure out getting out of Afghanistan. You guys know what I mean? Still trying to get out of Afghanistan. So what do we got here? First of all, I need you guys to drop some more likes. We got over 100 views, 11 likes. Where are the likes at? Let me get some likes on this video. We've got something. Okay, so we've got something here. Marines have always been the leaders in the military as far as fitness goes. And the Navy, by far the worst. IMO, in my opinion. The Navy is the worst, the least fit branch, absolutely not in good shape. Our average weight BMI has got to be 30, something like that. So it's not good, not good. But in the Marine Corps, they rep with fitness. Like they have the hardest fitness tests. They have the most fitness lifestyle as far as like they go to work and work out during the day. And I've known a lot of people in the Marine Corps who faced difficult challenges throughout their career of being able to have the right body shape. So not only in the Marine Corps do you have to be fit, you have to look fit. So there's none of this fat guy who's in shape thing, okay? There's none of this fat guy who actually can outrun you. You'd be surprised. There he goes doing pull-ups, okay? Yeah, he looks fat, but when he gets on the bar, when he gets in the gym, crushes it, okay? He or she. Now, the Marine Corps has never been that way. You have, you can have like a 36 waist maximum. You gotta stay fit looking, or they'll kick you out. They won't hesitate. They'll go, oh, you don't want to get fit? You don't want to have that good looking Marine Corps body? You don't want to make those blood stripes look good? See ya. You're out of here. You're out of here. Like you would say if you're an umpire, I guess. So the Marine Corps is now looking to reassess that. And I think that that's an okay call, because you've got people in the Marine Corps for 15, 20, 30 years whose bodies are wrecked. Their bodies are like sawdust, and they are maybe not able to maintain the same physique as they once were, but it doesn't make them bad Marines. You don't see too many sergeant majors out there running onto the front lines anymore these days. No, you don't see too many colonels running out to the front lines. So we've got the Marines looking for volunteers to help them reassess body standards. Researchers are seeking hundreds of Marines to get high-tech body scans and special x-rays that could lead to military-wide updates to troops' body composition standards, which have long been criticized as outdated. The Marine Corps is conducting what officials say is the most technologically advanced study of body composition standards since the 1980s. Now, I don't know what this means, because there are pretty high-tech body composition things, these body pods that you can get in. They tell you your bone density, your muscle density, your body weight, your BMI, all that stuff. They probably mean something like that. Taking care of Marines is always a leadership priority, said Major Lindsay Slyman with Marine Corps Training and Education Command's Policy and Standards Division. And taking care of Marines means not only vigorously enforcing high standards, but constantly evolving those standards into a more healthy, fit, and ready force. So they say over the next year, the Marine Corps Human Performance Branch, HPP, Human HPB, I guess the Navy calls it HPP, hopes to get between 600 and 800 volunteers based in D.C. area to help participate in a new study which could inform the military's strict weight and body fat limits. The population will include Marines of all ages and those who are postpartum. So they go on to say that women are especially targeted by this research, because after having a baby, female Marines might be less likely to return to that same body composition standard as quickly on a case-by-case basis. And we've covered stuff like that before about female Marines getting kicked out because after having a baby, they couldn't get their BMI back into like where the Marine Corps decided it should be. Starting last month, officers at the basic school in Quantico, Virginia, were also given a chance to volunteer for the study, and those Marines will be assessed at both the start and completion of their 6-month training. The goal is to have at least 100 female Marines participate in that portion of the study and about 300 men. So I think that's pretty cool. This is a good idea. It is possible the results of this study will be used to complement other services information about body composition standards, said Brian McGuire. Now, they go on to talk a little bit about what the scan is and what the test is going to be. But long story short is that I think it is far past time to reassess body composition standards, including if you've ever been in the military, or I don't know if they're doing this in depth now or like in your recruiter's office, but the part where they take, if you are overweight. Oh, I hated this. So I've been a ACFL, assistant command fitness leader. And what that means is you lead some command PT and you do some of the weighing in of people, or you put them on a scale, you take their height, you take their weight. And if they're out, and there's a height weight correlation chart. And if you're out of limits, you need to get taped. And getting taped, in my opinion, is one of the stupidest things that they've ever done, that anyone's ever done. Getting taped is so dumb that it makes literally zero sense. The way that you get taped is you measure the waist circumference and you measure the neck circumference and you subtract one from the other. And whatever that number is tells you your body composition, if your body composition makes sense for being in limits or not. The single dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my life. You can take one look at somebody without putting them on a scale, and you can tell if they're in shape or not, right? You could look at somebody and yeah, they might be thicker, but they're jacked. They're muscular, and then but they don't fit in the BMI, right? So they fail. They fail. Even though they can pass the run, they can pass the swim, whatever it is, they can do the push-ups and they can do the plank or the sit-ups or whatever. And then you still fail because your neck subtracted from your waist is a weird number. Or like, what the heck? And then if you're doing shrugs, if you're doing your shrugs and you got that jacked neck and you go in there like this and you get your tape and you get another inch on your neck or whatever, then you can pass the test. And it leaves a lot of room for out of shape people to pass. So completely out of shape people can pass. So fit people can fail, out of shape people can pass, and of course fit people can pass and out of shape people can fail too. But the system just doesn't make any sense. And we're still doing this as if this isn't something that we could have figured out 50 years ago. The whole military fitness evaluation program needs to be completely rethought. We're only just now, amidst tons of controversy, talking about finally doing away with sit-ups. Sit-ups being a terrible, I think universally agreed upon by professionals, a terrible assessment of core and abdominal strength and horrible for your back. And a lot of people's back problems are caused by sit-ups. There's so many better exercises. We need to stop doing sit-ups. I didn't know this. I got educated on it. Sit-ups are terrible for your back health. They're horrible. They do a lot of harm. So it's good that we're getting rid of sit-ups and switching to planks. And planks are harder, frankly. Planks are much harder. Yeah, sure, you do sit-ups and your abs burn, but not a representation of fitness. So I could go on all day about that. But it is far past time that we change the whole way that we assess physical fitness in the military, including body composition standards. They make no sense. And as if there isn't a place in the military for a big dude or female to go, knock down walls and just be a big presence, like, that person who can just sling weight, as if that is not something that we need. Come on, get out of here. What's crazy, even crazier, is when I was on the Ronald Reagan, the USS Ronald Reagan, we had people on the ship, males and females, who were so overweight, they couldn't fit through a scuttle. They couldn't fit through a hatch, okay? Could not fit through a hatch. If the door was shut and dogged down and you had to go through the hatch, they couldn't fit. They would drown or die or clog it up, and then nobody else could get through. And we didn't do anything about it. Didn't do anything about it, but they'll kick a Marine out for a 37-inch waist. Come on. All right, let me catch up on the chat here. The chat went a little crazy right there, so I'm curious what you guys are saying. Let's see. Let's see. Larry recommends Red Storm Rising. I'll have to check that out. I'm thick and can perform as well as anyone else, Boomer says. Good, dude. I totally believe you. There's no reason why not. I've seen plenty of thick people outperform plenty of thin people. And as if thin is the standard of fitness, right? As if just being thin represents that you're fit. That's not true. That's absolutely not. It's so dumb. Since you mentioned Marines, what do you think of them losing tanks, MP, and just shrinking in general? I think it's great. I think the Marines need to get back to the small unit island hopping maritime tactics that they are actually, known for. To be honest, I might want to join the USMC, but again, a long way before I can even join Nuggets. Keep up the good work. Keep up the burpees, man. Get those 420 down to under an hour. I think they can call them iron marshmallows. Nice. Just because of how I'm built. It's like Hooters. You got to look the part. Nice. Semper Wings, Justin says. That's awesome. An officer with the last name Slyman. How ironic. Do you think it's a good idea to get all U.S. soldiers out of Afghanistan, or should the U.S. keep some soldiers in Afghanistan? Lucas, I've talked about this so many times on the show. You can go reference some old videos on my channel. I think it's time to get out of Afghanistan. Do they not realize that everyone is built different? I know, seriously. Getting taped is just a reason to get groped by a chief. Justin, I think a lot of chiefs probably get so excited at the opportunity to tape somebody. I almost said grope somebody, but tape somebody, yeah. I think it kind of makes sense because all equipment that it has to be within a certain size range. Techno, that's why I hit on that about the hatches, and we just didn't do anything about that. It's good for now. The USMC is fixing the system. I have a tree trunk neck because of lifting. Flutter kicks are bad too. Sit-ups are my best event. Regal, what's up? By the way, you guys, I'm going to be on Regal's podcast, Midnight Chow, this week, so make sure you guys are around and check that out. I'm glad I stopped sit-ups, bike, crunch, and plank gang. Nice. I've been told BMI is a poor way to measure people. British Army said a lot of its soldiers would be considered obese. Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, do I need a small neck to weld stuff? No. I mean, do you want to have muscle or look like a toothpick? We had a guy who was underweight. We would literally force him to eat donuts instead. Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. It's like as if thin is the representation of fit. That's what we're going with. We're just going to go with, as long as if you're thin, if you're skinny, out of shape, weak, no problem. You're good. It's all good. No, you won't even be hearing from us. Just carry on. But if you're thick and you're fit, then you're in a problem. Flutter kicks are bad too. Basically all of that stuff is actually bad. According to my friends, my doctor friends have informed me that the only real healthy abdominal exercise is planking and core strengthening, and that sit-ups and flutter kicks and all that stuff is actually bad for your posterior chain. Now, okay, we've got two more quick stories. One is kind of just funny, I might rant about it a little bit, and God. So, I guess I just got to brief the chat. That's about to get litty. Abraham says, everyone in the USMC either lifts weights or runs. Hard to find people that are balanced in both aspects. Yeah, that's true. In the Marines, you've got so many people who look like professional bodybuilders, and then they run and they barely can, pass the run. And then you've got like guys who, you take one look at them and they look unremarkable, underwhelming, but then they're like fitness beasts and they can run and swim all day and ruck all day and stuff. And, it's what you want is like kind of a balance of both. Justin says, swimmer school got in trouble after I went through. Also not allowed in command or anymore. I got yelled at during FEP. Yeah. Harlan, what's up? There's a good pain and bad pain. Good pain is the lactic acid buildup in your muscles. Bad pain is that feeling as your spine lays down on the pavement. Totally, dude. Harlan, you're 100% correct. You are totally correct. Now, it's just unfortunate that the military loves that bad pain as a teacher, right? Because in the military, bad pain is the result of unsat action, right? Weak action makes bad pain. Any way of improving respiratory status? Had childhood asthma, but I worried I might fail during the medical checkup because of it. Ooh, Nathan, I don't have any medical advice for you. I would just say asthma is definitely a disqualifier for military service. So be honest with your recruiter and ask them what the best thing to do is there. Pain is weakness leaving the body. Yeah. Oh, I remember, you guys. I have to get all the old military commercials. I have to get all the old military commercials, and we have to figure out which one is best. I'm going to work on that today. That'll be really fun. That will be a really fun episode, and maybe I'll even get some people to join the military. Let's see. We've got. Here we go. Am I going to do this? Am I going to switch to the story and actually do this or not? What am I really made of over here? I'm going to hotkey it. Boom, let's go. Military trained marksman doesn't mean what you think it means. Columbus police officer who fatally shot black teen was military trained marksman. The Ma'Khia Bryant shooting. The Ma'Khia Bryant shooting turned out to involve a veteran, a service member. Nicholas Reardon's military record before joining the police department in Columbus, Ohio is not much different from that of hundreds of thousands of Americans. Reardon was identified as the police officer who fatally shot 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant, Ma'Khia, I hope I'm saying it correctly, this week after responding to the chaotic 911 call concerning a person armed with a knife, a shooting that, coming on the heels of Derek Chauvin's verdict in Minneapolis, has sparked national outcry once again, which I think is ridiculous. He obviously stopped this other girl from getting stabbed, and there's plenty of footage and evidence that's come out since then that supports this. It's a sad situation, but it was obviously the only thing he could do. I don't see another thing. I don't see another action this guy could have taken in this situation. It's just, I mean, the fact that people are protesting this is completely counter to the message that they're trying to send, and absolutely a disappointment to me. So Bearden, 23 years old, is also a staff sergeant currently assigned to the 121st Security Forces Squadron of the Ohio Air National Guard. Yet the part-time guardsman was portrayed as a military-trained marksman in a recent Daily Beast report that quickly went viral and was amplified by other media outlets. And the reason why this is funny, let's see, the website Refinery headlined, "Why It Matters That the Officer That Killed Ma'Khia Bryant Had a Military Background," and emphasizes that Reardon went through basic training, learned Air Force values, fitness skills, and military discipline, although the article did not actually specify why these skills matter in the context of this shooting. And then, so they're calling him a military marksman, and I laughed when I saw a Task and Purposes take on this because I immediately knew what they meant. Being a marksman in the military is like the lowest standard of qualification. In the Navy, for example, to be a marksman, you have to shoot a pistol at 5 and 15 and 25 yards and hit like the target a couple of times, and you can be a marksman. To be an expert, you have to shoot it. You have to have a little higher accuracy as far as more of your shots have to be on target. And in the Navy, they don't even do rifle at the range. They just do pistol. Now, I'm assuming the Air Force probably does like a pistol and an M16. I'm guessing that the Air Force, if anybody knows in the chat, let me know, that the Air Force probably does a pistol and an M16 qual. But being a marksman is effectively meaningless as far as an example of your competency with a weapon, okay? Here are some headlines. The police officer who killed 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant is a military-trained expert marksman. Ohio cop who fatally shot Ma'Khia Bryant is a military-trained marksman. Officer who shot 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant was a military-trained marksman. Columbus, Ohio officer who killed Ma'Khia Bryant was a trained ... It's like the lowest standard of training. It's so dumb. This is how the news twists things. Everybody in the military is a marksman. If you graduated boot camp, you're a marksman. That qual means nothing. Nothing. It's just a way for the media to twist it to make it look somehow like to imply that this guy being trained marksman is like the reason why he shot this person or responsible for this shooting in some way. It's very, very strange that they would include this. And it's totally crazy to me that people are, and you got LeBron James with his tweet, doxing this guy, basically putting this out there that this guy did something wrong. Of course, all police shootings are, tragic that they happen. But are you going to sit there and tell me that there's no circumstance in which a police officer would have to shoot somebody in the United States, period? There's just nothing that could happen? Of course not. There's people out there who do horrible things, and police face those horrible things every day. And this is one of those times where this guy rolled up on a fight in progress with a deadly weapon out, and then he shot this person and they died. And that's, unfortunate. But I think that the fact that people are protesting this is totally counter cause and only going to do more to defame the organizations that lead these protests. So the whole thing is ridiculous. But as it turns out, this guy is in the National Guard and was in the military, and he was trained in the Air Force. So it's every one of these big stories lately with shootings and all this stuff, it's all revolving military. So it makes it in my wheelhouse to cover this, whatever. But if you guys are seeing these headlines about him being a marksman means like nothing. It means literally nothing. So even if you're an expert marksman, which it says here that he is, even if you're an expert marksman, it means nothing. Anybody can get expert. It doesn't mean that he was in a combat MOS. He was just qualified at the range on static targets. The Marine Corps does it a little bit better. The Marine Corps has pop-up targets, and you have to get them in a certain amount of time, and you don't know which target's going to pop up and all this stuff, and it's a little bit trickier. But in the Navy and the Air Force, I assume the Air Force is closer to the Navy than it is the Marine Corps. I would probably have to find out and get back to you guys on that a little bit, but it is... it means like nothing. So it's just pure media spin to put that this guy is a military trained marksman and as if that means anything. Because the police train to such a higher standard than the military does. Do you guys know this? Like in the chat, do you guys know that the police departments train so much more to such a higher standard than the regular military does for marksmanship? There's almost, if you're in the regular Navy, the regular Army, the regular Air Force, and the Marine Corps is a little bit of an exception, you get very, very, very low level weapons training. Very low level. You just sit there on a range in the kneeling, prone, and standing position, and you take a few shots at a target. And that's it. And then you're done. It's like very, very limited training. Very limited training. So... just so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating when you see a lie in the news or like misinformation in the news, and you know it's misinformation because you actually know something about this subject. Then you go, is all the news just total BS? Is everything that I see in the news just a lie? And I mean, it probably is, honestly. So let me see what's going on in the chat here. We got, let's see, where do I even go back to here? We got, you ever work with foreigners in the U.S. military, like green card holders? Green card holders? No. I would have to think about that, but I've worked with foreign nationals. I've worked with foreign militaries, and I've worked with people from other countries who are not U.S. citizens. Oh, wait. Maybe I have worked with green card holders, actually, then I take that back. A lot of people use the military as a path to citizenship, and I've worked with many people. I just never considered them green card holders. To me, they were just my shipmates or whatever, Let's see. Where any good comments here? Let's see. Let me see. There were so many comments. We got to get going through the show. We see here again and again journalists talking about things they know nothing about. Totally, I agree with you there. Nathan, people giving Nathan some tips, which I appreciate when the chat comes together like that. He clearly screamed multiple times, gave many warnings. Watch this mod like a rock painter and expert marksman, so dangerous. It's horrible. Make me want to, let's see, where are we at? Everyone's talking to Nathan. I know a few guys who got their citizenship on deployment. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's always really cool. You should watch an F-16 pilot dodge 6 SAMs during Desert Storm. The video is on YouTube. Amazing skills since Chaffs was malfunctioning. I'll check that out. More comments, more veterans, more viewers, more growth. More comments, more viewers, more growth. That's it. We're doing good on today's show. We got to get through these next two stories here. It's 10:54 already. I don't know where the day went. Time is flying by. I didn't think that today was going to be such a long episode. Now we've got I talked about on Friday, the movie The 11th Order, which I paid a donation for and then downloaded, but it's now free to watch on YouTube, and I just dropped a link in the chat. So just so you guys know, that movie The 11th Order, which was only available via a donation as of Friday, this weekend came out for free on YouTube. Now, I don't mind donating to this cause, but it's now free. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on that you can go watch it now for free. It is available, and the link to that video is in the chat. Now, okay, this last story of today is a crazy one, okay? It's a crazy one, and it's a sad one that we have to cover it too. So I did that Jonathan Penland story, okay? And the comments that I got, the hate that I got blew my mind. Like, it melted my brain. It made no sense. And I stick to what I said. there's almost, I can't think, just so you guys know, if you go back and watch old videos on my channel, I can't think of a single video on my channel that I would take back. I stand by everything I've ever said on this show. If you want to challenge me on something I said on an old episode or something, please do. Call me out. If you feel like I've been hypocritical or got something totally wrong, go ahead, call me out. But I stand by everything I've ever said on the show. I stand by what I said about Jonathan Pentland. And today, for those who were looking for a reason to point out an Army sergeant being racist, I've got one for you. I've got one for you right here. I've got a real one, okay? A real one. This video, I've got an article here from Newsweek.com. By the way, it's difficult to find good journalism on this story, but this Newsweek article was the best one I found, and they also include the video uncut without commentary. So, trigger warning. There is adult and graphic language coming, okay? So, you've been warned. There is graphic language about to be used on the show. By the way, before we go any further, I want to remind you guys, patreon.com is open for business. Link in the description. Join the Patreon, become an elite patron, and on your second month, I'm going to send you a free t-shirt. It can be any t-shirt you choose, or you can get the custom elite patron t-shirt that's only available for the elite patrons. That's the only way you're ever going to get it. As well as you can share this video and watch it with friends. That's a great way to support the channel. And ScuttleButtShow.com, soon to be the ScuttleButtShow.com, but ScuttleButtShow.com for all your Scuttlebutt merch, including this shirt that I'm wearing right now is available on there, and so much more, including socks and water bottles and all kinds of great stuff. So let's look at this story. Former Army member caught on video refusing to leave store saying, "Black lives don't matter." There is no mixing. I don't know what this video is here or something else. There is no mixing words here. This guy used racist, defamatory language and slurs, including before the incident started. They're saying even worse stuff. And it all happened when he was drunk trying to buy more alcohol and got refused service. So a video circulating on social media captured a South Carolina man refusing to leave a grocery store and railing against the Black Lives Matter movement. Guess what? All lives effing matter. Black lives don't effing matter, the man said in the clip. He then points to the person filming the incident and says, "Black lives matter is the most racist effing thing we've ever seen. All lives matter. All lives effing matter. That's how it is." Now, I used to, when this whole like Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter thing started, I used to think, well, yeah, all lives matter. That makes sense. But then the words make sense. But then if you look at the people saying them and the intent behind people getting in the face of Black Lives Matter protesters and yelling all lives matter, you see clearly it's like a FU statement, okay? It is a counter protest. It sounds good, but it's not good. I get that now, and I've gotten that for a long time. But that's why like people say this all lives matter stuff. It's the intent behind what they're saying I think is important here. So let me play this video for you guys. Graphic language warning. This video is not for the faint of heart. So let's listen to this here, and you guys can tell me what you think. Is it racist?
The polo girlfriend.
What? What are you fucking? What are you doing? You just fucking supporting fucking all lives fucking matter? Guess what? All lives fucking matter. Black lives don't fucking matter. All lives matter. Okay? Because fucking Black lives matter. Take this on your fucking recording. Black Lives Matter is the most racist fucking thing we've ever fucking seen. Alright? All lives matter. All lives fucking matter. That's how it is.
But you not.
What about goddamn brown lives matter? What about white lives matter? How about everybody else? Guess what? All of you black fucks are goddamn racist motherfuckers. You're the most racist. Fuck you. How about that? Yeah, give me a recording. Give me a recording, that's fine. See me on goddamn TikTok. Just hold on.
Sorry.
Go. So
Not little cheeks out.
So all of you black fucks, hey, guess what? I got a goddamn black kid in goddamn Georgia. I'm not a racist motherfucker. Guess what? We will.
You see how that door got closed? That's all right. Don't give them no reaction.
And everything else. Guess what? Fuck them. Fuck black lives. Fuck white lives. Fuck goddamn brown lives. All of you.
All right, so if you watch that, that was obviously straight up racist language that he was using. There's no question. I mean, it's simple. It's right there in your face. There's no denying that. Apparently, the moments leading up to this, he went up to the cashier who denied him service because he was too drunk and he was trying to buy more alcohol. And he said he called that person the N-word. And that's what kind of spurred this whole incident, kind of sparked the whole thing. So this is just a bad dude, just a bad dude all around. I mean, a bad guy. And it's caught on tape. And local news station ABC 15 reported Thursday that John Walter Miles, 27 years old, turned himself into police after the incident. According to a statement released by the Sumter Police Department, Miles was shopping with his girlfriend when the incident happened shortly after 10 p.m. on April 9th at a Food Lion. He allegedly became angry after a clerk refused to sell them alcohol. Miles is charged with aggravated breach of peace and trespassing. He was booked at the Sumter County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. An investigation is continuing. I had to laugh when he told the door to hold on. I had to laugh when he told the automatic door, hold on. Like, he's obviously wasted. And, you know, this is an example of people say alcohol is truth serum. You know, alcohol doesn't make you do something like this. Alcohol is truth serum. And this is a good example of that. That Jonathan Pentland stuff, that's a different story. And you know what's crazy to me is that people were out there protesting, breaking windows on Jonathan Pentland's house, and nothing with this guy? Is that really what's the message? What's the message with that? You're going to go destroy Jonathan Pentland's life and his family's life, and this dude gets a pass from the protesters? What is it's just more evidence to me that all this stuff it's a pure, like, it's all about just money and fame, money and noise. Okay. These people who are leading these protests, if they meant what they said, you can rally 200 people to go protest something, and you could go, how about to somebody like this, who's actually doing bad stuff, not to people who are not like that cop in Columbus who killed that girl with the knife, or the Jonathan Pentland whose situation got totally spun out of control. This gets a pass. This I can barely find a story on. I don't understand that. Can somebody explain that to me? How there's actual white supremacist groups out there like Adam Waffen, for example, who get a pass, who don't even make the news. And then but any police officer is getting, protest now. The police need to be disbanded. But the people who pass laws that are responsible for locking up minorities at its astonishing rates for unbelievably long periods of time get a pass. I don't understand this stuff. Here is a bad dude. Nothing? No one cares? Is that the deal? I don't know. I don't understand. That's my little rant there with that. I just don't get it. There's really bad stuff going on that gets a pass. And then it's only news if it's questionable. It's only worth our time if there's two sides to it. But actual bad stuff gets a total pass. I don't understand. I just don't understand. That's my little rant about that. You guys can tell me what you think in the chat. What do you guys think about that? I'd like to see these armies of people, these masses of people, go stand up against really bad people. And how about make some progress there? Actual bad people who do bad stuff, who are on camera ranting actual racist stuff, get a pass. And Jonathan Pentland gets his life destroyed. I don't understand. I don't understand one bit. What's going on in the chat here? We got, what's the point of being racist? I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Actually, very few, in my opinion, this might be unpopular, very few people actually fit the definition of racist, being that you think another human is less than you because of their race alone. You just see somebody, and because of their race alone, you think they are less. I don't think that's that many people. Okay, I don't think there's that many people out there that are like that are honestly racist, really racist. I think that's a small population of people. Not nobody. It's out there, but not a lot of people. Saying I have a black kid doesn't justify being an ass or racist. Totally, dude. Totally. And keep in mind that before this video started, he called the cashier the N-word, and that's what kind of provoked this whole thing. Wow, all lives matter. Well, that includes Black lives, right? He's just contradicting himself. Oh, yeah, you're right, Game Hopes. That's a good point. My man is going through all 7 stages of grief in 30 seconds. When he told the automatic door to hold on, that got me, though. That made me laugh. Alcohol doesn't change how you think. It shows how you really are. Someone smart, I think. Harlan, yes, absolutely, dude. You are absolutely right. Ask a BLM member if white lives matter and see what they say. Yeah, that's. I think I was just probably as critical of BLM as I believe to get. You know, that whole thing with BLM. What I mean is, just because I don't get some stuff about it doesn't mean that I know the answer. I look at like who are my friends who support BLM, and a lot of my smart, talented, better than me, done more military service than me, friends support BLM, and so I understand that there's good stuff that's going on there, as well as bad stuff too, admittedly. I don't think anybody would deny it. Booze is truth. Harlan, that's someone smart. I think remarks just killed me. Who's Jonathan? Jonathan Pentland with the story we talked about last week. Let's see. Pants up, don't loot. That's kind of funny. Drunk words with sober thoughts. Yep. Tom Smith says, I get what you're saying about the intent of people saying all lives matter. They may be racist and start stern, but that does not change the truth of the statement. Guilty by association is BS. I'm not sure what you're referring to by guilty by association, but I think that when it's clear intent that people are using all lives matter as like a FU, as like an attack on other people, I don't like that. Or like how Asians only get the spotlight when it's a trend. They have the worst intentions. We need to know how to direct our hate to make it effective. Paul says, any burn, loot, murdering tonight? I hope not. I do think the media pick and choose what to publicize, and by doing to manufacture outrage. Totally. I totally agree. Nobody will ever know, Max. Nobody will ever know. Yep. They're too busy doing bad stuff themselves, Max. The stuff, they don't want to fix anything. They just want to be outraged. Yep. I sometimes I believe that too, Tom. John Lennon, give peace a chance, literally. Racism is usually just an expression of fear and insecurity. I agree with that too. My grandmother was shoved down while shopping and was called a virus for being Asian, but people only say Asian lives matter when it's trending. It pisses me off. I totally agree, dude. I totally agree. It's what you see in the media, what you see getting a pass. It's so crazy when you think about what gets ignored. Like, what bothers me the most is not what we see, but it's not what we're shown. It's what I know that we're not shown. Does that make sense? Like, when you see something like this and it doesn't get talked about, but instead there's these twisted misinformation, lies put out on the news, and that's all that gets the attention. That's all that gets the people riled up. It's no wonder why things get so bad sometimes, because people don't actually care about real examples that we could agree on are bad. All they care about is twisting and, manipulating things, which causes a debate because obviously one side's not telling the truth, or there's more to the story or something. And that's what gets people fired up. And so that's what we get. That's all we ever get. And it's partially our fault as consumers. I accept responsibility for that. We have to take responsibility of that as consumers. If the people who are showing us the news were stopped making money off of that, they would change. They would change what they're doing. It's partially our fault. Okay? We all could do better. We all could do better. What's up, Amelia? Welcome to the chat. The show is just about over. All right, it's 11:10. We went overtime today. That's fine. I love doing the show with you guys. That's all the stories that we have today. I might jump on a game in a little bit and game with you guys if you guys want to come check that out. But we went pretty far over the time today. Thanks for the advice, Scuttlebutt. Going to stop doing sit-ups and start doing planks. Good to go. I've started doing planks too. I've got about a 2.5 minute regular plank right now by Navy PT standards. No problem. I can do about 2.5 minutes. I'm working my way up to the 4 minutes. I realized that my plank is kind of weak. I get my plank game up. I could do a lot better with that. So with that being said, we've got another show tomorrow, regular Scuttlebutt Show time, regular Scuttlebutt Show place. And I'm going to be on Midnight Chow. So I'll give you guys pass the info for Midnight Chow. With that being said, I'm going to try to use my hotkeys to get to the outro here, but there's no telling how that's going to go. With that being said, I look forward to talking to you guys very soon. I am out for now. Nope.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.